Welcome to the John and Heidi Show podcast.
John and Heidi.
Here's John and Heidi.
Today is a special day, Heidi. Do you know what today is?
What is today, John?
I thought you'd never ask. It is Wednesday, the 15th day of May. It's National Chocolate Chip Day.
Yum.
It's also National Nylon Stocking Day. That's why I'm wearing these today, just to clear things up. Just kidding.
That's why you're wearing them today.
I'm not really wearing nylon stockings.
Why do you wear them every other day?
I don't. I never do. I just wanted to make everybody wonder. It is also Peace Officer Memorial Day today, so that's really cool. Big thank you to the peace officers out there. I have some guests that I bet a lot of peace officers are going to like. If you liked the movie Super Troopers, if you liked the movie Super Troopers 2, or if you like the new show, TacomaFD, it's a TV show that is on True TV. I've got two of the guys that star in all three of those projects. Steve Lemme and Kevin Heffernan going to be chatting about their new show, TacomaFD. It's the #1 new comedy on cable right now, Heidi.
Crazy.
Doing very well, and they're out on like a national tour. We're going to be chatting with those boys coming up in a bit.
If you have a drug problem, don't let it ruin your life. You can be in treatment as soon as tomorrow, and you can start to get clean in as little as 7 days. Take the first step to get drugs out of your life at timeforrehab.com. Your insurance may cover everything, so you really have nothing to lose. timeforrehab.com. Start your new life. You deserve it. Learn more at timeforrehab.com. That's timeforrehab.com.
Now, surveys and studies and such brought to you by WeirdGiftOfTheDay.com. A survey by BetterHelp found that 1 in 4 Americans say they have no one to confide in. I was thinking about that the other day. I was going to tell somebody, I was like, hey, guess what? Oh, wait a minute. I don't have anyone. Actually, I do. You know who I confide in? You.
Oh, well, that's nice. I should probably listen.
Who do you confide in, Heidi? Not me.
Yes, I do. No. Too much. You tell me I should keep some things to myself.
Maybe. You know when I said you can tell me anything? I didn't mean you should tell me everything. All right. Surveys and studies and such brought to you by WeirdGiftOfTheDay.com.
The average household has thousands of dollars in credit card debt. If you find yourself in that position and you're making minimum payments, you could be in debt for a long time. Make sure you have the very best card with the very best rates at bettercreditcards.net. We work with different banks and different credit card companies who put out their best offers to earn your business. See if we can help you get a better credit card at bettercreditcards.net, bettercreditcards.net. That's bettercreditcards.net.
And this is Your Brain on Drugs, brought to you by timeforrehab.com. A man in northern Mexico had to be rescued after he accidentally trapped himself in a hole that he dug so he could spy on his former girlfriend in violation of a court order.
Oh, no.
This is not a good idea. He's 50, by the way.
Ew.
So it's not like he's, 21 or something. He's 50.
Even
also
if he's
known
21, that is not normal.
Well, you'd think he'd be old enough to know better at age 50, but for some reason, this guy dug a tunnel underneath of her home.
Oh, my gosh.
She heard noises, thought that it was cats, and then the noises got louder and louder. And finally, they called and said, yeah, there's something down there. It's not a cat.
My gosh.
Your ex-boyfriend. He was intoxicated and very dehydrated by the time they dragged him out of the tunnel. So, bad idea. Very bad idea. It's what happens when your brain is on drugs.
John and Heidi.
Now, big screen, little screen, brought to you by ChannelSurferTV.com. Thanks for listening. I almost said brought to you by Jeff Zucker. He's the first story.
Okay.
CNN President Jeff Zucker. He's denying rumors that Matt Lauer is going to be joining their network. So I saw somebody.
That's probably not a good thing then.
I think it's funny. Somebody on Facebook said, this is what it's like to deal with fake news. So apparently they're saying, hey, Jeff, how do you like it when people tell you? I thought that was kind of funny. So anyway, hey, the new Pokemon movie hit theaters over the weekend as well. And it did really well. It beat Avengers Endgame at the box office Friday night, and adjusted figures could give the weekend lead. They think that they actually came out ahead. So we'll have those numbers, I believe, today, or maybe they're already out and I just haven't seen them. Some people actually get those before we do. Did you know that?
Some?
Yeah,
maybe
some.
Once in a while.
Almost everybody. Big screen.
I can't think of a movie that has come out for a long time that I've been like, I have to see this film.
How about Cobra Kai on YouTube? That
That's
wasn't a movie.
movie.
I know, but we binge watched that in one day.
Yeah, we did. That was amazing.
That should have been a movie, maybe. I don't know. Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show.
If you can't have a drink, without it leading to another drink and another drink. Maybe it's time to get help. There are programs designed to help take alcohol out of your life for good at timeforrehab.com. Don't let a drinking problem spill over into other areas of your life. Get help to quit drinking and start living the life you truly deserve at timeforrehab.com. Your insurance may cover everything. Learn more at timeforrehab.com. That's timeforrehab.com.
Now your scoop of the day, brought to you by BetterCreditCards.net. Dr. Pepper is releasing their first flavor in 5 years as part of a promotion for the new Spider-Man movie.
What's the flavor?
I don't know. It's Dr. Pepper Spidey? I have no idea. It doesn't say. I've got a link to a story that might have it. Oh, hey, it says on here. I'm looking in the link. It says Dr. Pepper Dark Berry.
Dark
So,
berry.
yeah.
Oh.
Now I want to try it.
Yeah, so do I.
Florida man was arrested for DUI when he crashed his tractor into a police car. It's not a good plan. No. Don't do
No.
that.
Awkward.
Yeah. It's like, what are you doing there? Whoops. Meatloaf. He's the
Yeah,
singer.
I loved Meatloaf.
2 out of 3 ain't
Yeah.
bad. He broke his collarbone.
Oh, no.
He got his foot tangled on a wire while he was in a concert. This wasn't even a concert. This part, he was doing a Q&A in Texas. He was standing on stage. He tripped on a wire and fell down and broke his collarbone.
No.
That was last week. That's too bad. A group of exorcist specialists. Now, I'm going to pause for a second here. How cool would it be to have business cards that say you're an exorcist specialist?
We could make those. Who's
We
going to
could?
prove us wrong?
Yeah, I suppose. I'm not going to make this. So back to the story. A group of exorcist specialists gathered in Rome to exchange the best practices for getting rid of a demon. So
I think I am going to make some of those just to see who really reads my business card.
Heidi
Just
Small,
legitimately hand out
exorcist
business cards. And
specialist.
yeah. Meet somebody and they... so what do you do? Oh, here, I'll give you my card.
Nice to meet you. Amazon. Yeah, don't do that. All of a sudden we'll be getting calls for exorcisms. It's like, oh, I thought it said exercise specialist. Sorry, wrong card. Amazon is being accused of using Echo Dot Kids device to illegally collect data from children.
Oh, my God.
I hope that's not true. All right. Hey, listen up for all of those of you out there who are maybe big fans of drinking and partying and also representing companies in a positive light. I don't know does all that stuff go together? Probably not. Natural Light Beer has a summer internship that they would like to find the right person for. The company says they don't want somebody with, quote, traditional qualifications. Like, what are those? What are traditional qualifications? Do you know?
I don't know.
They said they will instead select a person who, quote, lives the natty light lifestyle. Natural Light Beer. The intern will make $40 an hour, by the way.
Wow, I could do that.
I'm thinking-
going to send them one of my exorcism expert business cards and see if I can get in on that
I
gig.
got plenty of time in the schedule these days. Nobody's exercising these days. I don't know what's going on. So $40 an hour? So Natural Light Beer, have we had that?
I have had.
Is it good?
It's cheap.
Is
it's
it
cheap.
Is it the best
And
beer
it's-
you've ever had, Heidi?
It is for $40 an hour.
They may be listening. Just saying. All right. I've got a link to the story if you want to read all about that. And one last story to get to here. Denver has become the first city to decriminalize psychedelic mushrooms. So that is a thing. And to think, Heidi, some people said marijuana was a gateway drug. No way. It's not either. So now in Denver, it's now also not illegal to have
gosh.
psychedelic mushrooms. What is next, Denver? Crack cocaine?
Yeah, Denver's going to be a mess.
I just don't get that. So I've got a
Sell
link to
your
that
homes
story
now
too.
while property values are high.
Yeah, and we know some people who live there, and we've been there. It's a great place. So we haven't been there since everything's become a legal substance now. But so I've got a link to this story if you want to read all about it. That's in the show notes. Heidi's working on a resume right now for Natural Light. That is cool. I've got a link to that too. I think I'm going to share that on our social media as well because it'd be cool to find the person who is that intern. That'd be really neat. Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show.
Before you know it, Christmas will be here. Are you ready? If you plan to use a credit card while shopping, make sure you have the very best credit card for you. It's free to click around and see what we can do for you at bettercreditcards.net. We have options from many different banks and different credit card companies who put out their best offers to earn your business. See if we can help you get a better credit card at bettercreditcards.net. Bettercreditcards.net. That's bettercreditcards.net.
Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show. We've got not one, but two awesome guests joining us today from TacomaFD on True TV, but you also know these guys from maybe Super Troopers or Super Troopers 2, Steve Lemme and Kevin Heffernan. We're going to talk to them right now about this new show, True TV's TacomaFD. We're going to start with you, Steve. Do you remember, I know you guys have worked on a lot of projects together, but do you remember the first project that you worked together with Kevin on? Do you know what that would have been?
Well, we did sketch comedy together back in college, and we were in a comedy group called Charred Goosebleed. And we brought that to New York City. We made a movie called Polo Cruiser, and then we made Super Troopers. And I guess the rest is history.
And the cool thing is, Super Troopers did so well that, you know, fans were asking for a sequel, and they got that, which is awesome, and it's very funny.
Thank you. Yeah, for many years, people wanted to see a sequel, and we ended up crowdfunding it and getting our fans to help us make the movie. And so, yeah, we put it out last year. It did really, really well.
Kevin, you and Steve have had a chance to work together on multiple projects. Now, that's got to make it easier in some areas, but does that also make it a little more difficult sometimes to work together when you've worked together so many times?
It is. I mean, it's like, you know, working with a brother. You know, you have a great time. You have a shorthand on how to work, but sometimes, you know, you get in a little fights here and there. You have a little disagreements. And so, you know, certainly over the years we've had those. And
I suppose with a connection like that, other people around you have to just wonder what you're up to most of the time.
Oh, yeah, we have plenty of jokes like that. In fact, we've actually gotten kicked out of bars for our own inside jokes.
That's hilarious. Now, Steve, let's talk about TacomaFD. How in the world did this project get started?
You know, we really decided we wanted to get on TV. And we thought to ourselves, well, what is the best way to do that? What is it that people really have responded to over our career, our body of work? And we decided it was Super Troopers, and specifically it was our mustaches. So we thought to ourselves, well, what TV show can we do that focuses on our mustaches again? And the conclusion we came to was firefighters. Let's do a firefighter show because they have a lot of they have mustaches. Now, what's the equivalent of bored highway patrolmen on a deserted stretch of highway? It's firefighters in the rainiest city in the country. And we settled on Tacoma, Washington for that. And here we are, talking to you.
That's awesome. Now, I know with Super Troopers, a lot of law enforcement loved that movie and the sequel. With TacomaFD, are you seeing the same kind of thing with firefighters?
Oh, yeah, it's amazing. We've been doing these live shows, and tons of firefighters have been coming out, and it's really great. Like, we met them, and they really are impressed with how they think we nailed the fun that they have in their station, and they're really happy, and I think firemen are really getting on board with the show.
So leading up to the filming of TacomaFD, did you actually talk to firefighters to find out how things should be?
No, we did. We spoke to a lot of different firemen, and, you know, first and foremost, Kevin's cousin Bill is a firefighter in Connecticut. He's been a firefighter for 25 years and actually ended up being our technical consultant on the show. So we interviewed him, and, you know, probably spent a good 20 hours picking his brain and hearing his stories, and a lot of his stories made it into the first season of TacomaFD. And then, you know, while we were shooting, we shot our first episode in a real firehouse, and of course now we've met a bunch of real firefighters, and they all have stories. You know, from the chiefs to the captains down to the probies, which are the rookies, and everybody's got, you know, tons of crazy stories, and they're either, you know, things that happen in the firehouse or they're the crazy calls they go on. But they're all great. So it's endless material.
And I think you'll do well, and you'll get multiple seasons. And I don't think you'll ever really run out of material because there are always crazy things happening.
Yeah, no, it's funny. Every firefighter you talk to has like 10 awesome stories. And now that we are kind of connected with a lot of firefighters, they're offering up a lot of stories, and they're really one after the next, just fantastic. It just seems like endless material.
Well, congratulations on the early success of the show. I think it's going to get even better and better, and I really appreciate you taking the time to visit with us about TacomaFD today.
Thanks, John. Thank you.
Again, our guests today have been Steve Lemme and Kevin Heffernan from TacomaFD. It's a new TV program on True TV. I'm going to throw a link in our show notes to make it really easy to find all of the local listing information on that. Also, these two funny guys have a comedy tour they're doing as well. So I'm going to throw a link to that schedule so you can see if they're going to be in the neighborhood. And again, I'll throw all of that in the show notes for today at johnandheidishow.com. Thanks again for listening.
Thank you very much.
If you have a drug problem, don't let it ruin your life. You can be in treatment as soon as tomorrow, and you can start to get clean in as little as 7 days. Take the first step to get drugs out of your life at timeforrehab.com. Your insurance may cover everything, so you really have nothing to lose. Timeforrehab.com. Start your new life. You deserve it. Learn more at timeforrehab.com. That's timeforrehab.com.
Fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
When eagles flirt, they also flirt with death. It says here courtship between eagles can be death-defying. They'll fly way up high in the air, and then while they're, working on making baby eagles, they interlock their talons, and they start falling in a series of somersaults. It usually works out with the two producing one or two offspring every year. So, can you imagine how crazy that would be?
Apparently it works for them.
Apparently.
That's probably why they were endangered for so long.
Apparently.
Maybe they should change their mating practices.
Can we just go back to your nest? I'm just saying. Thanks for listening to this fun fact.
The average household has thousands of dollars in credit card debt. If you find yourself in that position and you're making minimum payments, you could be in debt for a long time. Make sure you have the very best card with the very best rates at bettercreditcards.net. We work with different banks and different credit card companies who put out their best offers to earn your business. See if we can help you get a better credit card at bettercreditcards.net, bettercreditcards.net. That's bettercreditcards.net.
Now, fear this. Time for fun with phobias. Megalophobia. I think we've actually done this one.
had this one, but I do not remember what
Megalophobia.
it was. Fear of large things.
Yes, megalophobia. Fear of big things. Was it because I was holding my hands up
No,
like this?
but I
big?
was just thinking megalodon, and,
Yeah.
and it reminded me.
Megalophobia. Fear of large things. That's today's fun with phobias.
If you can't have a drink without it leading to another drink and another drink, maybe it's time to get help. There are programs designed to help take alcohol out of your life for good at timeforrehab.com. Don't let a drinking problem spill over into other areas of your life. Get help to quit drinking and start living the life you truly deserve at timeforrehab.com. Your insurance may cover everything. Learn more at timeforrehab.com. That's timeforrehab.com.
Now, some weird news brought to you by WeirdGiftOfTheDay.com. A Canadian woman was arrested after allegedly shattering the door at a coffee shop. You know why?
Why?
Because they didn't have no donuts.
Oh, yeah,
According
that's a good
to-
reason.
No, it's not. You don't break somebody's door. This woman went into a downtown coffee shop at 4:15 a.m. and caused a disturbance. She became enraged that they didn't have any donuts ready. It was 4 a.m., Heidi.
Time to make the donuts.
Yeah, apparently she should have gone in a little bit later, or they should have gone in a little bit earlier. She got mad. She was shouting at the staff. When she exited the door, she slammed it shut and then kicked the glass door and caused it to shatter. Police say she fled the area. Police arrived shortly after. They were unable to find the woman. However, security footage captured the incident. The employees at the same coffee shop called police saying the same woman had returned. This was like a week later. 30-year-old woman was arrested and charged with mischief under $5,000 and breach of probation. So the second time she went, it was 5:30 in the morning. So she learned to go a little later to get donuts.
They're not open at 4, so
Yeah.
I'll give them an extra hour and a half.
So I'm looking to see when the first one happened, April 22nd. Second one's May 2nd. So like
Not
a week
a whole
and
lot of time
If you
in
kicked
between
somebody's front door in and busted it out, would you go back to that donut shop a week later?
They must have really
Hey,
good donuts.
you guys got some donuts now? Don't make me kick your door again. Weird news brought to you by WeirdGiftOfTheDay.com.
John and Heidi.
Now, your moment of duh, brought to you by FunkyMonkeyShirts.com. Police say a Florida woman had a baby alligator in her yoga pants and dozens of turtles in her purse when she was pulled over.
Weird.
She was with a man in a pickup truck. I wonder whose idea it was for her to stuff that alligator in her pants. I bet it was his idea. I mean,
I have no idea.
So
That's
3
bizarre.
a.m., they drove through a stop sign, a man and a
3
woman.
a.m..
Yeah. They were trying to collect frogs and snakes from a nearby underpass. That's what they said that they were working on. The deputy asked, "What have you collected so far?" And it turns out a lot of things they weren't supposed to collect. Like 41 small turtles that they weren't supposed to have, and a foot-long alligator that was in her yoga pants. The turtles...
So are the turtles, you're not supposed to collect turtles?
Well, the turtles and the American alligator are regulated, so the driver and his gal pal were cited for having them. The reptiles were seized by the Florida Fish and Wildlife and then released, according to the outlet. So, yeah, you can't just stop and say, "Hey, there's a turtle."
But they're free.
Those free turtles. I want a free turtle. No, you can't just take those turtles. Those turtles are not free. Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show.
Before you know it, Christmas will be here. Are you ready? If you plan to use a credit card while shopping, make sure you have the very best credit card for you. It's free to click around and see what we can do for you at bettercreditcards.net. We have options from many different banks and different credit card companies who put out their best offers to earn your business. See if we can help you get a better credit card at bettercreditcards.net. Bettercreditcards.net. That's bettercreditcards.net.
Now, these 3 things. Heidi, tell me, what do these 3 things have in common? Think this through.
All right.
The Navy,
Okay.
a zoo, and a Ziploc bag.
Plastic.
No. Wait, what? Zoo? No. They all have seals. Navy SEALs. A zoo has seals.
I see.
And Ziploc bags have seals.
I guarantee you, they all have plastic.
I don't think so. I don't think Ziploc bag has plastic. The Navy, what do they have that's
I
plastic?
bet they have lots of things that are plastic.
No.
Have you ever been on a submarine? I'm
No.
sure they have things that are plastic.
Since I have not, I'll give that to you. I don't know what I'm talking about.
And I know that the zoo has plastic. You got
Probably.
plastic cups, plastic water bottles.
Sure, they get it all. Heidi's right. And they all have seals. That's 2 things. These 3 things.
John and Heidi.
This portion of the John and Heidi Show is brought to you by the John and Heidi Show. That sounds kind of funny, but it's true. Go to your local radio station and ask them to start carrying the John and Heidi Show. Here's the best part. They can carry the show for free. They play a couple commercials, but it doesn't cost them anything every month. So if you know a radio station that could use a little bit of help, send them our way. Send them to johnandheidishow.com. Again, johnandheidishow.com. We would love to do a radio program in your community. Then you could listen to the podcast and listen to us on the radio.
John and Heidi.
We always like to wrap things up around here with good news, and I think this is good news. It comes your way courtesy of ripitgloves.com, promo code radio. That's RIPIT gloves.com. Overcoming doubt, a 14-year-old who made a jaw-dropping prom dress for her older sister is now flooded with requests. This is such a cool story. So this young lady is only 14, Courtney Lewis, but she's well on her way to designing gowns for the Hollywood starlets. Teenage fashionista is quickly gathering social media steam after some photos were posted of a prom dress that she created for her 18-year-old sister. Says when she first insisted on making the dress, her mom was a little skeptical. But after 5 months of hard work and some guidance from fashion mentors from the Duke Ellington School of the Arts,
Wow.
she created a masterpiece. Her mother told Good Morning America, "I'm especially proud of my daughter because she was really swamped at school, and instead of resting all weekend, she would work on the dress." The photo was posted online, and it's gotten a lot of attention, and Courtney has now got 50 requests for custom dresses from other people.
Crazy.
She's flattered by the outpouring of admiration and support. She says that she still has to finish school before embarking on a career in, top fashion, but she's super excited to work on some of these projects. I've got a link to the story, and it's cool. They were on Good Morning America. They got a little coverage there, and here they are now on the John and Heidi Show. I think it'd be really neat. Maybe we could have her make you a dress. What do you think?
There's not enough fabric at her
Oh,
house.
come on now. I think it's
for
really
a
neat.
project like that.
I think it's adorable, and I think it's cool that she's getting requests from people all over. So I've got a link to that story if you want to see the dress. It is a great-looking dress. I've got that in the show notes at johnandheidishow.com. Thanks for listening. Time to say goodbye, Heidi.
Goodbye, Heidi.
Goodbye, everybody. See, I almost forgot that part. Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show on a Wednesday.